Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 43. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report that has updates on Yieldnodes, exactly where they're going, another interview with Steve, the CEO, and then we also have news on the Trillant because the marketplace has been launched this particular week. Birake has launched that, and that happened on the last weekend. And on top of this, we have some massive results out of our profit retriever robot. Plenty of news, plenty of profits as always. So let's get started. And the best place obviously is Yieldnodes here. We now understand the quarterly profits. A lot of people have been asking when is that actually going to set in. And it looks like now it's going to be from the 1st of January. Basically, you will get your profits in as we normally have at the end of the month. And that will cover October, November and December. So good news at least. We know what to expect and what to look forward to. Now, Steve has done another interview here also with Liam, and that just came out 2 days ago. And in here we see Steve that is a bit more set up and switched on this particular time. He also seems a bit more positive of what is to come and trying to explain some of the things that people have a lot of questions on. There was a small Q&A in there with a few questions. Also for Steve that he replied, and obviously the first ones that we are looking at the moment is the emergency withdrawal that people are looking at. They wanted to know how they can get their money out, and in the initial email which we have here on the screen, it said 2 to 3 weeks. That is obviously a couple of weeks ago now. The latest one we heard is now it's going to be most probably by mid-November. And the setup will be that you can decide yourself exactly how many percent you are willing to give away. And we also seen a lot of comments on this. And again, you will be able to set your own percentage, but it will be also influenced by Yieldnodes themselves. So you'll be able to set it all the way down to 10%, meaning that if you have 50,000 in there, you are giving basically away 90% and only taking 10% for yourself. Obviously that is a huge loss, but maybe some people want to have their initial investment out and move on. On top of this, you can also stagger your withdrawals from what we understand, or you will be able to, because this is definitely not set in stone yet. It's not implemented, but you could set it up as individual packages where you will then have 5 different ones of 10,000 for a $50,000 account if you want to completely move out of Yieldnodes, and you can set one at 10 and the other one is 20 and 30% and so on. But after a 2-week period, Yieldnodes will automatically raise this by 10%. So that is the position until you get to 75%. Obviously, you can also go the other way and you can sell it for more than 100%, but most probably nobody wants to do that right now, as we are still in the very early phase where we need to gain some trust back to Yieldnodes. Once it's there, it might be possible that it will go the other way. But definitely this is good news for the people that need the money here and now. But obviously it's never a good idea to give away this much. So definitely be careful, consider if you can avoid to give too many percentage back to somebody else who's going to buy it up. Now also in the recent week, we had a meeting with Woods, and we also met up with John. We had a quick lunch here before we went back to discuss a bit more on the future for Yieldnodes and Decenomy. And one of the things that I definitely took out of this meeting here was the attitude and the sort of the spirit that Woods had. He's definitely not down and beaten, far from it. So I saw he had a lot of fire, as I also saw when we did the audit in the summer. He's aware that this is a difficult situation, but he seems to have a very clear plan on how to move forward. And that's basically the major parts that I took from this particular meeting. Now, I also went to the hub, and in there I understand that now most of the staff is going to move to the hub sometime next week. With a bit of luck, we hope to get an invite so we can show you around the office, just show you that all the people are still there. They are still working for all of us as investors. And this will just be small little teaser videos. Hopefully I can share with the entire community coming forward. Now, if we have a look at the coins and how well they're doing, first of all, the positive thing on Sapphire is the return on the investment is up 6% from last week. So it's up to 63% return on the investment per year. And that also shows in the shared masternoding, where we have basically done about 2% in the last week. But overall coin development continues to struggle. We have seen some positive moves. Right now it's a bit down again, and it's down at the lowest, so minus 60%. The graph itself looks like this, so it's still in a fall, but not maybe a free fall anymore. If we have seen the bottom yet or not, it's hard to tell. Obviously, the more information, the more concrete we get out of Yieldnodes and Decenomy, most probably we will see that curve flatten out more and more. P and Y, also here, it is basically same percentage as we had last week on the return on the investment. We are up by 10% again this week on the shared masternoding, and the overall coin development has basically been very stable. We are very close to the all-time low, but this one seems to have handled just a bit better, but all-time low is still around the minus 94%, so definitely not something to be cheerful about yet. The graph looks like this, and you can see it is bottoming out. Again, we don't know if this is the bottom or not, but as we said, more information most probably will make the community a bit more positive, enthusiastic, and then obviously over time we will see when the projects come to life that these coins might also spring back up. Birake is obviously the exchange, and we have seen that that has held on quite well in recent times. But now it also has an effect here. The return on the investment per year is basically similar to what we saw last week. On the shared masternoding, we are up by about 4%, so that is quite normal. But overall coin development, it was up earlier in the week. So last week we had minus almost 7%. And now we are at minus 11.5%, so definitely it's not going in the right direction at the moment. It looks like this. As you can see, there has been some drops and then there's been some retracements, but overall it is still up, so compared to a couple of years ago. But anybody's guess how this is going to go is still early days. Now having a look at Bitcoin versus USDT, just to see how that has moved around this week. Well, the all-time low this week was at 20,000 and then up to about 21. So it has been moving in a very small range with a slightly downwards error. And it seems like it cannot break out of the 21,000 at the moment. We have also seen that on the trading. So trading the Bitcoin is a bit difficult at the moment, because we're used to more volatile graphs than what you see here. And when it moves in a very small range, very difficult to make the money unless you make big changes to robots. Elevate Pass, not much news from last week either, so they're still not paying. And as we mentioned, so you still can have an opportunity with the invested money you have in there to go in and get yourself familiarized with the crypto trading and crypto setups, so courses. And on top of that, you can obviously also go in and advertise with that money on the CoinFriend portal. Interesting part here now is Trillant and the roadmap. We have brought this one forward a couple of times, and now things are actually going live. This is the Trillant marketplace that is being launched, and that was going to be launched in Q4. And at the same time, we were also discussing the exchanges that was going to come and be announced. And that has just been announced on this weekend, where CEO Birake did a bit of a startup party. This was also on the YouTube channel, and definitely I must say it was a very bad startup party. Everything was in German, and despite I do understand some German, the microphones were very far away, very difficult to exactly understand what was happening in here, what was the times and dates for this. But I managed to put this together in a video for you, so where we also showing the Trillant website launch, the different companies that are in there. At the moment, for the local part, we only have one here in Malta. Most of them are located in Austria, Germany, Central Europe, basically. And we have some in Sweden, Norway. We also had some in Croatia and in around Miami in the US. So definitely there's only a couple of hundred right now, as we show in the video. But obviously there is hundreds or thousands more to come in the month and years to come here. There's also 2 crypto exchanges that has been pointed out now, and we go through both of them and show them how you can set up and sign up in advance, so that once that everything will be released, so the coins will be released from the 10 cents that are locked in now, it will simply go over to the market value. And obviously from there on, you can also take your stake profits out of there into these 2 exchanges apart from UX. So we're covering all this in the video. If you're interested in this and you want to prepare, then this is the video to go and have a look at. And just to remind you again here, so you still have a couple of weeks before the token will be basically floating. So on the free market right now, it's still at 10 cents, and we have quite a few people that are asking us how they can get into this. You still have a great opportunity to do this. We have short term, which is 4, 9, and 26 weeks. And they work basically as advertised. You're getting the yields. You're getting over the 4 weeks, 1.5%. Over 9 weeks, you get 3.5%. And over 26 weeks, you get the 11%. And then that percentage is split out over the 4, 9, or 26 weeks. So you get weekly payouts back here also. Now the difference between those 3 and the locked for the 52 weeks, where you get 50% yield, not only are you getting more percentage, but right now whoever goes in and stakes with the coin price at 10 cents, you are basically confirmed that this will be the return on the investment you will have every single week. If the coin price then goes to 20 cents, you will get a chance every 4 weeks to restake in here. And basically, if that goes to 20 cents and you bought the package at 10, that means also your weekly yield will be double. If it drops to 5 cents after you have bought this package, you don't really have to worry, because you can simply just stay at the percentage you are. It will basically just make sense that you stake it at 20 cents or 50 cents, whatever the amount will be in the future. And that's also why we have all ours. We have about 4 packages now in on the 52 weeks at 50%. Now, with all the things that are happening on the multiple different platforms, and also what has happened in Yieldnodes, we know that the money that Yieldnodes transferred already from last month into the investors through Binance, that is still blocked. It has not been released. And that's why we're pulling out our tutorial here again, because the best thing you can do for yourself on all these different platforms is to make sure that you have a cold wallet, hard wallet, whatever you want to call it. And this is the most secure way, where you can transfer it straight into your own wallet. And from there on, you can then put whatever amount you want into the exchange, because these big sums here sometimes basically get the crypto exchanges to block or lock temporarily or permanently for companies and private people also, if the amounts are too big. So this is definitely the video if you want to have a look and see how you can safely store these things. In the video, you will also see how you can buy it, how you can set it up, install the apps, and most importantly, transfer to and from your accounts, which is very, very quick and very easy. Solar farm, we have now the Solar Play token, which has pre-sale overview. We're not going into that particular one, and we had a little chat with the developers in this, because obviously first we had Solar Farm 1, then version 2 with some changes, and then we were told that the metaverse was coming. That is no longer the case. Well, it's being delayed right now, so what we understand. And that's why they wanted to get the Solar Play token, the pre-sales out instead. Now the important part here is there's still light at the end of the tunnel for both Solar Farm 1 and 2, because the distribution, as you can see here, is 40% marketing, 60% into the liquidity. And that also means that part of what is going to happen here, so for the Solar Play tokens, is that part of that revenue goes back to the miners. From what we understand right now, it looks like 80% of that will go back to the version 2 and 20% into version 1. So the Solar Play is a bookmaker style casino, and basically there's 3 things in there that's going to be launched. So the Solar Predictions predict the performance of crypto assets. Solar Sport predicts the performance of sport matches. And then Solar Frenzy, last person to invest wins the pot. Obviously this is not really something for us. We prefer just to be miners in here, but it gives you a good idea that there is things to come. There is hopefully some revenue that will also boost the TVL for both solar panel 1 and 2 in the future. If we have a look at Solar Farm version 2 first, we can see the TVL continues to drop, so about 11% since last week. The panels owned is up by 73%, so very much where we have been before. The good part that we haven't seen so much of is the panel value itself is up by 3% this week. It is not much, but definitely if this is the bottom, we will be very happy with this, but too early to tell yet. And then the exchange rate is minus 68% at the moment, so obviously not the best. But we have some green numbers at least, and we take that any day of the week. If we have a look at the BNB versus USD, then we can see that this has been a very positive development all week. It definitely doesn't look like Bitcoin at all this week. Last week we left it around the 285, 290 mark, and since then it has passed the 300, and at the time of shooting this video is about 334. So it looks very good, and obviously it's a good time if you want to take some money out. So through the solar farm, then that is a good BNB to get exchanged. Solar Farm 1, also here on the TVL, we are slightly down. We are down by 4% this week, so it's not much. It's about half a BNB. Panels owned is at 169%, so pretty much where we are normally from week to week. And then the panel value is up by only 1%, but obviously again, green numbers, we take them at the moment. It is, after all, still crypto winter, so if we can see a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, we will take it any day of the week. Solar versus BNB has had a very good development, as you can see. Where we left it last week is where you have your orange markers, and that has been good and positive development all the way through. We hope that this is the first signs and indications that are more to come. AI marketing, not much to come, still very much unknown. Profit for the entire October. We have no way of verifying or checking this at the moment, so we cannot access the site. We can see things are moving, things are going on behind the scenes, and also we had seen some of the community members reach out in the recent week, so to support again. And one of the feedbacks we got was this one here. Hello, we have not completed the full verification that the aggregators forced us to go through. At the same time, we have a new wave of accounts being blocked as the aggregators decide that part of our accounts was allegedly Russian. We are taking steps to challenge these blockings, provide documents of Ukraine members of our team, and we have many other excuses, obviously, at the moment coming from there. Some of these we have seen before. But this is only as an information. We don't really know how much of this is true or not. And definitely we have no meetings. They continue to be postponed. Last one was supposed to happen on 1st of November. Now it's on the 15th of November. We don't think anything is going to happen. We have the feeling now that if something's going to happen at one point, then most probably it's going to be that all of a sudden the site is back up, everything is back to normal, or things will completely crash. So time will tell, but we still have a bit of faith in this, especially after a couple of rumors for a few weeks back that you also heard here in the news report, and that there is something going on. There is something going on the sites, but this is a long process, and we will simply have to see if this could be ready for a nice little Christmas present for us. Christmas present is already here when we're talking about profit receiver. It has done extremely well in the last week and overall in the last month. We are still running with the same currencies, so about 18. It takes a lot of time and effort to make sure that these run correctly, and we have very good results back, as you will see here. So this is for week 43, so from last Friday, and the top 5 EAs in here has done extremely well. Euro USD is up by $1,154 or 11.5%, and this has been one of the very best currencies now for quite a few weeks. It has been in the top 5 for 7 weeks straight. The US 30 is a funny character here because a lot of times it doesn't do anything, and then all of a sudden you have great movements and great profits. So 11.1% for that week. US CAT 8.7, Aussie USD is at 8.4%, and then New Zealand USD at 5.9. So overall these 5 have done quite well with $4,557 or 9.1% in the last week, so very good numbers. Now we also have the numbers in, so for the entire month of October, and they are quite heavy to say the least. We can see here that as usual our silver is doing quite well. It's on top with 42.8%, so a massive amount in just 1 month. Euro USD, obviously because it has been in the top 5 for the last 7 weeks, we have seen some massive results of 41.4%. US CAT has also done quite well, 30.7%. And then we have gold coming in, which is also sometimes going in long-term drawdowns, and then it comes back very strong, very heavy. And this month it was 25.1%. And the US 30 index overall also managed to get in the top 5 with 22.8%. So just these 5 robots for the last month, and don't forget we are trading these with a locked lot size of, and the account is $10,000, and overall those 5 have made $16,277 or 32.6%. So this is massive. Now overall, all of our robots here in the portfolio in the last month did 24,000 minus about $5, I believe. So that is quite massive. So, but obviously you can see that the first 5 here has taken care of 2/3 of the profits, and that's how the profit retriever unfortunately works sometimes. 1 month things are good for one robot, and the next one goes into a drawdown. And that's exactly why you have this portfolio of robots that you need to set up. We suggest definitely something about 8 or 10 different ones, because some will be a drawdown for weeks or months to come, where other ones will be cashing in, and that's why you're getting this nice graph just going up, up and up. So already last week here we also mentioned that we passed $100,000. So on the portfolio itself, on this text that you have here is 108. We have already passed 110 now, so things are moving quite nicely, and we got a bit of help yesterday again with the US announcement, so for an additional percentage rise, so on the interest rates, and that obviously also makes it very nice target area for the profit retriever. Volatility is something it really likes because it will cash in both on the way up and on the way down, as we had there. If you want to know more about the EA, how it trades, you can always go to our website. If you don't really want to trade, but you rather want to copy somebody else, then we also have that on the website, and you will have more information on how you can go in and set yourself up with Expert Forex. All the details are in there as usual. If you want to trade yourself, we also have some links where you can find good VPS, stable VPSs that we are using, and also some brokers that are doing a very good job where you can take your money out anytime you want to. Now, if you are into the copy trading, there will be more and more, as you can see here. This is only the top part. There's about twice as many in there. And you can see the percentage that are coming back. Some of the monthly gains are 86%, 51%, 45%. and so on. And a lot of these robots has been working for long periods of time. The Link 17C here is ours. It's been running for 218 days, so you can see it's quite stable. Recent equity is at 36,000. So obviously very stable. Most of them are profit retrievers, but we now see a few of the make money robots that are also making into the top here. Alex has made a few videos also this week, and he talks about the negative and positive drawdowns, and you can figure out a bit more about that in this video here. We'll make sure that all the links for his videos is in the description below as usual. The second one he has is what I just showed you before, 35 highly profitable trading accounts you can link to now. They are available. You can go in, even though you're not a Premium Forum member, to have a look. But if you want to be part of the trading itself, you have to sign up for this. And that's what we have for you in this week's news report. It is not all bad news. Definitely we are trying to keep you up to date as much as possible, provide you both the negative and the positive sides of the crypto world and all the trading that we are involved in. We hope you enjoyed it, and I do hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.